Let's talk about NaVi. Alright, well if you've been following CS, Simple starting off the year strong with getting his first trophy in IEM Global Challenge, hopefully aiming to get number 1 this year. And they do this against Astralis on Inferno being the last map. And the best thing about this is that they did this after playing another BO3 earlier in the day. As a result, I think this is why they decided to peak top mid, because they were feeling it today. They were ready to take any fight and they really wanted to set the pace for the Inferno game, hopefully just making it a quick one, so that they can grab the trophy for IEM Global Challenge. Although it looks pretty simple with everyone just peeking top mid and the combination of Simple, Bit and Electronic getting kills, we can actually go over to Boomich here because he does do something quite important. So at the start of the round, he's the only guy going B. He's not getting any kills even though he popped off this game. He decides he's not getting kills top mid today. He's actually throwing the one-way over Banana. This is so they can get some early commotion with Banana. They're going to be scared of going there, so they kind of just hang about middle. But before they can even notice that, they're already peeking top mid and dying to it. So it was just to throw a little curveball in there. In case they did wait a little bit, there is some kind of planning with this top mid push. But at the end of the day, they just wanted to take the duels. If they don't take the duels, they've got two options. They either push A slowly, where there's 4 people on site, because there's this one way at B that gives them information. If they don't push A and they push B, they've got to wait for the smoke to clear, because they've got to deal with that one way that someone could be behind. Another reason why NaVi beat Astralis in such dominant fashion on Inferno is because they had super efficient rounds. They had rounds where they would lose 1 person or no people. And as a result, they just had a great economy throughout the whole game. And they kept catching Astralis off guard with aggressive plays alongside this. So they were being super efficient and super aggressive. As you can see here, Electronic just pushed up apps. And we're going to go over to Boomich now. He's going to get the rest of the kills this round. And he does something quite interesting that you wouldn't expect to see. Well, which is exactly why he got the last 3 kills in this round. Eventually this round gets to about 40 seconds in. By the time we're that deep in with these kind of numbers for NaVi, you'd imagine they'd play a bit more passive. They wouldn't be playing so up close for A side because they don't want to give any more people away. And they want to just be a bit more conservative, keep the numbers, play the numbers game against the T side. As we can see here, Boomich is still pretty aggressive long. And he in fact decides he's got to take on these guys top mid that just pushed out, and he gets all 3 of them. So like I mentioned previously, you wouldn't really expect this aggression, and NaVi put it in motion at a pretty good time. As if we compare this to round 7, which was much earlier in the CT half for NaVi, we can actually see what I meant by saying playing a long aggressively there is unpredictable. It's not something you would usually expect. So I'm just going to fast forward it now, and if we get to around the same time, we do see Boomich pretty close at long, but he then decides to back off. Around here is where you kind of expect people to play. He could also be playing in library. That's something that's also quite normal. But it's not the aggressive push against T's flashing themselves up top mid. That's definitely not what Astralis thought they'd come into, and it's another reason why the aggressiveness out of NaVi won them this final. Right, I just want to run through one of the buy against buy rounds that are really efficient on NaVi's behalf. First of all, they're taking Banana, pretty standard stuff with Perfecto throwing a nade up top as well, while Boomich flashes him to peek it or play off it or push off Astralis, any of the options I've just mentioned. They then wait to see if there's any more utility dumped on Banana, see if they want to push in and take it with a flash over the top. From a flash I showed in a video previously, I'll link that below. And while this is happening, you can see nothing else is really happening top mid. Nothing's kind of happening on the apartment side. They are playing against Astralis, and they do want to be pretty conservative with their nades because I think because NaVi know it's not the greatest buy, but it is a buy on behalf of Astralis. Once they're happy with the banana control they've got, they're going to wait out the time quite a bit here. After all, it is NaVi we're watching right now. So they're going to slowly take top mid and trust that they're just going to win their angels here. They don't really flash themselves in. They just kind of go in with confidence. They believe they're going to keep as many people on banana as possible, so they're pretty confident with this top mid push. As we can see here, Boomich and Astralis start to go. Like I say, time's running down, no need to really use top mid, so they're confident they're not playing up close. Next they have to deal with the long split that they want to conduct with Perfecto and Bit. Boomich and Electronic continue to go. They're eventually going to smoke these off, and what happens next is Bit goes down and Electronic flashes for Boomich right there, and he gets a kill. At the same time, while all of this is happening, as Boomich and Electronic are getting those kills, Perfecto's pushing up, Abs getting the last guy that's also an A, making room for the guys to plant. And still at the same time, if we go over to Simple, he just killed. He did the go kill thing. He did the Simple thing. So you can say this was down to angels, this, that and the other thing. But the sequence you see here at A long really shows that they expect to make this play. They expect Astralis to be in the positions that they are in right now at this point in the game. And I can say that off of this flash. That's not a flash off the cuff. That is a flash that Boomich is very aware about. He knows that that's going to pop, where it's going to pop, and he can get that kill graveyard. That's practice. That's not on the fly. And this just further highlights the efficiency and the planning that NaVi had to play against Astralis in this tournament. Let's talk about another really efficient round from NaVi here. Overall, there's 5 kills this round. 3 are in favour of NaVi, 2 of course are in favour of Astralis, and they get the bomb down pretty easy. It's barely contested. So they start with the B rush, just take banana control, Electronic throwing a smoke for the molly if there is one, and then Perfecto plays the anti-flash corner here so that he can then trade Electronic when he dies to Glaive. Once this is set up, they're pretty happy with the banana control. They make sure to stay here by smoking mid-site so they can pressure either the CT guy and rep, so on and so forth. Once that's been all sorted out though, they begin to push towards A because they much prefer A when CTs are weaker as a whole. They think they can trade better, and generally they can, and they usually go uncontested. Perfecto dies here to Device. Now we cut to Simple as he's going to get the rest of the kills here. He's just smoking off Graveyard, and then he's going to jump up on the half wall from Boomich, and they're going to start to push A short, being able to peek pretty much on top of each other. See, you see here they're lining up with each other with Boomich underneath. While that boost has been happening, Bit's all the way up here getting ready to do the balcony smoke that lets him out and lets him clear pit a bit more efficiently. So you can see he lines up with the door along this brick on the arch, and it's just a simple mouse one. You should all be pretty familiar with it. And as Magix dies, he gets the confidence to go and clear out the rest of balcony like they need him to. On top of that, we have Boomich coming out with Simple. He's underneath him, so they're lining up properly, making it pretty hard to not get traded. And he just throws the Moto smoke so they can come out and clear the rest of site. Completely ignores Graveyard, no idea why, but you know, Boomich does what Boomich wants. And that's pretty much the round. After this, Simple just sets up, and he gets a single kill on Device, and Astralis back out, making it another super efficient round on behalf of NaVi. I've tried 3 times to get this. Oh my days, I'm not good at this. Speaking of not being good at things, if you got any good feedback on this stuff and how it's going, I'd appreciate it, because there's only been 4, and I don't know if they're going too great, but it seems like they are, so I want to know how I can improve them. Which is weird, because they seem to be doing okay. But this was a good game to watch. I mean, it was a good one to analyze. I felt like I learned a little bit. I watched these a lot, so whether I can actually apply them to myself is a completely different story to whether you can, or if you could just watch it and be entertained by it. That's a whole different thing. But I think this sets up a pretty good year this year for CS tournaments in general. I mean, NaVi is surely coming for that #1 spot, especially with Simple being rated #2 in HLTV and not #1. I'm sure that's got a fire underneath him. So there should be pretty entertaining things this year, although we do all miss the audience being in the crowd and so on and so forth. But there's still some good things to watch in regards to these tournaments. There's still some good games being played. But I hope this went well. Feedback's appreciated, and I hope you enjoy this and go on to enjoy all the other stuff that I'm making. It's hard.